What we have here is a 1/4 ounce D.O.A. shrimp. And what these lures are a nature faker. They're not meant to dive or resemble a wounded bait fish or click or make a lot of noise. They're designed to look exactly like a shrimp, and they do. D.O.A. goes in a lot of trouble to make these track a certain way so they don't dive, they don't go down butt first. All they do is float around in the ocean just like this. And a fish is supposed to see it, recognize it as a shrimp, and eat it. There's a couple things we can do to change the setup of this shrimp. For one, because you tie your knot here in the front, the shrimp is moving away from the predator fish. I fish for tarpon under docks, and the tarpon will chase this for a little bit before they actually attack it, if they attack it. And what the tarpon is seeing is this shrimp's butt moving away from it. And D.O.A. really went in a lot of trouble to put all this detail up front, the legs, the eyes, and typically the tarpon aren't seeing that. This is all they're seeing. So, one way we can fix that is hook it through the back so the shrimp moves away from the fish. This also, from what I understand, looks more natural because a shrimp will defend itself with its front pinchers and will actually swim backwards if something is chasing it, and it'll attack it from the front. So, your predator fish will see this instead of this. If you surf cast, which I do in South Florida, this tail does not help aerodynamicy. It flops around and it's tough. So, two things we're going to gain by Texas rigging this shrimp is going to be removing the tail for both aerodynamicy and also giving you the ability to move it around away from the fish like this. You can also make it weedless. So what we have here is a 4.0 Gamakatsu offset worm hook that we're going to install. First thing we have to do is remove the stock hook. Be careful because the keeper is very sharp. And we're just going to pull that right out of our shrimp and save that for a later date. So now our shrimp is hookless. Where we're going to line up this offset worm hook is right in the tail. It's going to ultimately be right there. And that's how this is going to look. The hook's going to go right in front of this weight and come out the top, just like before. So, first things first, let's get rid of this tail section. So we're going to snip it off right there. Don't need this. Now we have a much more aerodynamic shrimp. Frankly, if you're going to Texas rig a live shrimp, you bite this end off anyway because it releases scent, and you can still rig a live shrimp weedless. And all we have to do is Texas rig our shrimp with this worm hook. Take the butt section. We're going to go right in the butt section. A little bit. You're going to come out the side, just like that. We're going to bring the hook all the way around to this little section, and this is where you have to twist, just like so. So now what you have is that section coming right out of the shrimp, and the hole is right up top. If you're using a 4.0 hook, you'll see it's going to come out right in front of that weight. And you want to keep this weight in here, because when D.O.A. designs this, they make them a certain way, and they're engineered so they track completely straight, just like this. Again, they don't dive, they don't do this. If you had a weighted jig head here, it'd be going backwards. So you want to keep that weight in there. All you have to do is put the point right through that section in front of the weight. So the point of the hook is going to go right up front and come out the top just like that. You'll notice it's completely weedless. This hook can't get snagging anything. You ask, how do you set the hook? When the fish bites down on this, it's going to expose that hook. If it goes in the crushers of the fish, it's going to expose that hook. So what we have here is a Texas rigged D.O.A. shrimp. The stock weight is still in there. It's still going to track correctly. This tail section is removed, which is going to allow us to cast this much further. It's much more aerodynamic. You can skip it under a dock much more easy. It's not going to get snagged up on a dock. And it's going to move away from the fish in this manner and look much more realistic. Remember, all this shrimp is supposed to do, all this lure does is look like a shrimp. Reel it as slow as possible, give it a small twitch once in a while, and that's it. Set the hook, game on.